Thank you.
I want to drop it on your head.
You set up.
Hello there.
Swearing in all of our board members real quick, beginning of the meeting here, so
Kate, how do you wanna? Sorry. So you are the. Here. I have Kate, Kathleen, however you wanna sign it. I'm just on the dotted line. Please. Yeah, right here, yes. This is a really old one, don't mind them. That's all right. Excuse me. And I have a little right here on that dotted line. Yes, please. Oh, another south boat. Oh, you're lucky, like you.
I am too. Did you hear that?
Oh,
Did you know that?
You guys lefties?
I am.
Here on that.
You are too? Oh my gosh.
That doesn't happen very often.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Cool, the right brainers on one side, the left brainers on the other. Okay, is it time?
Yep, 6:02.
It is Tuesday, May 6th. I'd like to call the zoning board of appeals meeting to order. In the city council chambers, oh no, in the community room. Can we have a roll call, please?
Brown,
Present.
Henneke,
Here.
Nibbs,
Present.
Marshall,
Present?
Shaw Null. Here. Stein.
Here. Okay, so the first thing, well, I'd like to welcome Pat Kennedy as a new member of the zoning board. That's not on the agenda. Hello, welcome. Okay. So the first thing is we're going to amend the agenda to add for the approval of minutes section. Next to February 17th, 2025, approval of the closed session minutes as well. And those minutes will all be approved together. And then we're going to add under section 7, adjournment 7 becomes board members' comments and questions. There's that amendment. Do we have to have a vote on the amendment? Do we have to
Yes,
vote?
if there.
Yeah, you should have a motion and a vote to amend the agenda.
So, is it my motion? Or do we?
Anyone can make a motion.
I make a, okay, so thank you. Second,
I'll second it.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, so those amendments have been approved. All right, so the next thing, item 3, is approval of minutes, and this includes February 4th, 2025, February 17th, 2025, and the closed session minutes of February 17th, 2025. And lastly, March 11th, 2025, the special meeting.
I move to approve the minutes as stated on the dates and times.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions for anyone? Nope, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? All right.
I abstain.
Oh, you abstained? Okay. That's right, you were gone. Okay. One abstention. All right, next thing is public comment.
Oh, hi,
Hi, you are a member of the public.
I'm Patty Q. Public on West Jefferson Street.
I asked you to state your name and address.
Patty Chapman, 552 West Jefferson Street. So I'm the house that's directly next to the hospital. And fun fact, when they were doing their renovation, my house was actually on their plans. So 5 years ago, we bought the house next door to us. Our neighbor, his wife died and he moved, and we, weren't sure what we were gonna do with it, and we decided to do a renovation. And we sunk a lot of money into it, and it was the summer, it was right when COVID hit, so it was kind of a nightmare with all the building and everything that went on. And I did not know what a short-term rental license was. So we were using it as an Airbnb, then all of a sudden I started reading all the stuff in the papers about short-term rental licenses and that there was a moratorium, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So when it opened back up again, I talked to the mayor and I talked to, what's his name? Shane?
That's the city manager right there.
I know you are. And it's like, it was Shane, about the potential of, to see if we could get one. So, and Shane's been over to my property. So we, literally across the street from us is the Arby's, there's a medical building, the bicycle shop, you know, the whole street is, you know, commercial across the street from us, and then the hospital, you know, cornering it, everything. So, what I was hoping to do is look to see if there's any type of variance that we could get, because we don't, the issues for, not having short-term rental license in neighborhoods, totally understand. But we don't, none of those issues affect us because we don't really have neighbors that it affects. I have one neighbor on the other side of the house, but, Meredith says it doesn't bother her at all. She never sees anyone. And we have plenty of parking. So wondering if there's, I actually made a handy dandy little PowerPoint, but I didn't realize that this was what this meeting was. I thought I was just kind of be listening. So wondering if there's a process for me to go about appealing to see if there's a variance that I could get to have a short-term rental license, since I don't really have any of the issues for the reasons why you know, are changing zoning.
So you have applied and you were denied a license?
Well, I talked to the mayor and he said, you know, it wouldn't work because of what the zoning is. You know, if they were going strictly zoning, we're zoned, like multifamily, I believe, at this point in time. So anyway, I just wasn't sure what the process was. I filled out all the paperwork to apply for it, but because of how we're zoned, I thought it would automatically be rejected.
So Lisa, is this a referral that you would take care of?
Yeah, so you have the right to appeal.
Okay,
You have to, it would be a use variance essentially. And you'd have to prove a practical difficulty or reason why you can't use it for the purpose it's intended, which would be residential, is what it's, if it's zoned RM2, that's multiple family residential.
right. And prove that, say it again.
That you wouldn't be able to use the property for what it's intended.
Okay,
So you would need to have a different use than what it's zoned for.
okay.
You could appeal to the planning commission as far as rezoning goes, if you wanted to have it
We talked about
rezoned.
that. It was like, you know, we talked about rezoning those two houses, mine and
Yeah.
that.
Concern about spot zoning.
Yeah,
That's the other issue, yeah.
Is what, short-term rental, just refresh my memory, what zone is that under?
Business,
Business?
they're allowed in business on upper floors.
Right.
Right, and yours is the whole house?
yeah.
Yeah.
And there are also 3 other ones on my street anyway, they got grandfathered. So had I had my license and had I known about it, I would have been grandfathered anyway.
Right.
When did you, open it?
2020 or 2021, I can't remember. I think 2021.
Okay, so you're operating now?
No, I was
Back, okay.
yeah.
So would she have to apply for a license and be denied and then apply for a variance? Or can the variance be applied for immediately?
She can apply for a variance, but this is technically public comment, so this is where comments are made and not necessarily conversation back and forth.
Okay,
But yeah, she can apply without necessarily being denied.
and she could talk to you.
Okay, great. Let me grab your name.
Lisa Denoyer.
Lisa Denoyer. Okay, I'll write that down.
Any other comments? Anyone online other than our attorney?
No comment from me. Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you, Shane. And at least I'll give you a ring, okay? Excuse. Something else.
So the next item on the agenda, item 5, is closed session. I need a motion to adjourn into closed session to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by statute pursuant to MCL 15.2681H, specifically identified as an attorney-client privileged written legal opinion.
I'll move to go into closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, you need a roll call vote.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Have you called the roll?
Okay, sounds good. Stein,
Yes.
Brown,
Yeah.
Hennigy,
Yes.
Nibbs,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Shaw Null.
Yes.
have the motion.
There she is.
So first thing back will be election of officers.
So we are back in session. Under new business, the first item is the election of officers.
So annually, the first meeting after the April meeting is when we will appoint a chair and vice chair. Currently, our chairperson, his term was up April 1st, so he is no longer on the board. Kate is our vice chair. So at this time, it's up to the board to.
I'd like to nominate Bill
Kate
Brown.
Marshall.
I decline. Come up with somebody else.
Sue,
No,
no?
I mean, we can't all decline. Or can we?
No.
You have to have officers.
Bill, since I'm already vice chair, wouldn't you accept being chair?
You'll be chairman. I'd consider vice chairman. Or whatever it's the phraseology is.
Got a negotiation going on here.
Are you gonna stay as vice chair?
Well, Bill just said,
You know, I think Mrs. Stein is very competent and sharp as well. You two make a very good tag team. Encourage.
I'm not eager to be the chair, but if nobody else wants to do it.
Then I would feel the same. I would do the same thing.
Okay.
I would need a lot of hand holding.
What?
But either way, I think it's great because you're both newer also, so you can.
I do think there should be a balance. I mean, I've only been on this board a year and Sue's been on less.
6 months,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I think that somebody who's been on the board,
A long time, but I don't think I have the best personality for that. I'm not aggressive enough.
I don't think you have to be aggressive. But I think there should be a balance between a newer member, and we are both newer members, and somebody who's been on longer. That's my feeling about it. I would be very content to stay as vice chair.
Otherwise, I think it's Jim and I are the oldest and I've had a hard time making enough meetings lately and I don't know how they'll be going forward for me to commit to that position. So that would make you the next senior.
And I'm gone January, February, March.
Right.
I have no ambition to do this. But I will. If
You do,
Kate-
even though
if Kate
you've only
stays
been
on.
on a year, you have experience.
Right.
You can do this.
Okay.
And that way, Susan
I
can-
could second you.
You could be the vice.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Bill, very
That's
carefully wiggled out of that one.
Chairman and vice chairman, all in favor, say aye.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Of course you will. And Pat, you're next, so get ready.
I got a couple of years.
No, 6 months.
Oh. I better learn quick.
Okay, so we're done with that?
Yep.
Are we short a member or two?
No, it's 6 members and an alternate.
Scott is re-upped, Scott Hutchinson.
Scott Morrison.
Morrison. Yeah.
Okay.
He was our alternate before. He's still the alternate. He came back.
Has he ever been to a meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was at, he's been.
Beautiful.
Okay, next item, thank you, congratulations, Sue, and.
Congratulations, Kate.
Thank you both.
The next item on the agenda is determine the procedural process for the remanded case.
What
And
we just did.
We have to
Oh, we did.
read that
the
motion.
motion, the chair is looking for a motion as to how the board wishes to handle the remanded case from Judge Deegan. Is there someone who has a motion they would like to
I
offer?
might read it in a minute.
Okay,
Sorry, it timed out.
The only thing I noticed, Laura, and it's not in front of me, I just wanted, is the language in there to support your claim or to support this remand? Any documentation, you're muted. You're muted.
So I would recommend that the proper way to do this is for someone to make a motion. And then somebody else can either second it or propose a friendly amendment, or somebody can make a different motion. But I don't want to talk about specifically the content of closed session and open session.
Right. Okay. I'd like to make a motion. Motion to schedule the remand hearing on the Powell appeal for June 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. to direct the zoning administrator and city attorney to provide the necessary notice to the applicants, their counsel, and the circuit court to require that the applicants provide any additional documentation 7 days before the hearing, and to request that the applicants provide the ZBA with the following items, not limited to before and after photos, as-built drawings, or similar depictions of each floor, identifying all structural changes since the applicant's acquisition of the property. Number 2, an itemization of the appellant's expenses with a breakdown for each floor of the property, an itemization, drawings, etc. of HVAC, plumbing, and electrical work performed on each floor of the property, and receipts, invoices, or similar documentation supporting each expenditure.
Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jessica Shawno. And we'll have a vote now. All in favor of this motion?
Do a roll call vote, just so we have,
Do roll call, all right?
Yep. Stein,
Yes.
Brown,
Yeah.
Henneke,
Yes.
Nibbs,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Shawno.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Great, so item 7, this is board members' comments or questions, and I've asked you to be on here because I had some, but I don't know if anyone else has any comments that they want to share with the board.
I would like to say that, I think when we had this meeting originally, it seemed like there might have been a bullet point, like, concentrated schedule of when each thing happened. And that would be helpful, I think, for us in the next meeting if we had that, including what's happened since then. And if it could be consolidated all on one sheet of paper, so we didn't have to keep going through while we're talking, like the date when each thing happened,
Like a
does that make
timeline.
sense?
They acquired the property, they
Yeah.
originally spoke to the,
And
Right.
what
without,
the zoning was at that point in time when they bought it
Okay.
and everything. I think if we had easy access to that information while we talked about it, would be helpful.
I agree.
I agree too.
Okay. Okay, here's my question, Laura, I'm glad you're still here. At our last meeting, so we have the minutes for that, the very last meeting. And there were so those of us who were present are Bill, Sue, and myself, and then the others were not. But if you read the minutes, there were things that were discussed. One of which I had asked a question and Laura said, well, that seems like that discussion is getting into topics that were discussed in closed session, so perhaps we should go into closed session if you want. I had asked for clarifications on section 2007, the meaning of that current ordinance. And then Mr. Icoangeli said that, yes, the board could have a discussion about that section of the ordinance. And if they wanted to request changes, they could send it to the planning commission. and that hasn't happened yet. So I don't know procedurally how we go forward, or if anyone cares about these issues. I do, but I'm one member, obviously, but I think that there are things that were unclear. I know that the planning commission discusses, all sorts of aspects of the zoning ordinance, so I don't know that if we're not referring to a specific past act, we have to go into closed session. Can we have a general discussion about section 2007 and its weight, and does it need to be changed or not in open session without you? Can you?
Yeah, no, I think that's appropriate. My recollection was that it was a more, specific inquiry at that time. But if the zoning board of, I'll say, typically the zoning board of appeals isn't just setting things for discussion of a possible amendment, but given the framework of it where the ZBA is seeing things that could perhaps be addressed by zoning ordinance amendments, I think it is proper for the ZBA to put that on a future agenda and discuss that, and can, like anyone, make a recommendation to the planning commission that the planning commission consider changes.
I do know that Mr. Echoangeli has said, well, they haven't said anything yet, so, so we haven't spoken about it. Is the board interested in discussing this?
What's the particular?
2007 is the limitation of the variance and when it expires, and can it be extended?
Can it be extended? I know that, yes, I'm very interested in that.
Okay, that would have to be for a future discussion.
Yes,
Okay, anybody else interested?
and I would add to that how the process of the language in a motion, the change in the zoning permit issued. Because that was
Well,
the
that's-
other thing that came up.
That's would be in closed session. Because you're talking about something that happened on a specific property, right?
She's talking about changes to the zoning permit application and the language on the application.
Okay, so not attached to a
To
particular.
prevent similar things from happening.
Okay, right. So that could be part of this discussion. And could we have this discussion at our next meeting after we have the hearing? So, and you'll be there, Laura, in case we step in tar and you can say, button up. Okay, that's great. So, thank you. That's all I have.
I want to say how wonderfully Kate has managed the role.
You're very funny, Bill. Payback's a dog, It bites you. Okay, if there's no further business, thank you all.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, glad to be here. I'll see you next month.
Second.
No, let's make-
Second.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Laura.
Yep, take care.